Sometimes the universe sends you signs that are hard to ignore. And that's what happened with Jerry Blevins and me. Blevins, who was a college walk on, ended up putting together a 13-year major league career as a pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, Washington Nationals, Atlanta Braves, and New York Mets. And in addition to a variety of business pursuits, Blevins currently works as a studio analyst for the New York Mets. But several things came together for this talk to happen. At some point on Instagram, I noticed someone was following me named JBlev13, and it had one of those blue check marks next to it. I looked at the picture and saw it was Jerry Blevins, a former major league pitcher. But I played it cool. I didn't want to reach out too soon and say hi. Uh, this social media dance is difficult. Like when I saw Jerry Seinfeld was following me, I had to tie my arms to my side to resist sending him a message. I held out for 7, 8 months maybe before writing, and well, I haven't heard back. But back to this story with Jerry Blevins. While I was doing research for season 2, The Making of Field of Dreams, I came across this article on Sports Illustrated titled, quote, "Don't kid yourself, Field of Dreams is a bad movie," end quote. I noted the author of the piece, then I read the article. Then I went back and did a double take at the author's name, Jerry Blevins. What? I went back to Instagram to check, and yep, the same Jerry Blevins. Okay, so now I had to reach out, and I did. And a few days later, Jerry Blevins replied and said he'd be happy to talk. Tonight, I get to the truth with Jerry Blevins about why he wrote the article, "Don't Kid Yourself, Field of Dreams is a Bad Movie." We'll dive into his incredible journey from college walk-on to a 13-year major league career. We'll break down his thoughts on recent and upcoming rule changes, and he'll reveal something I never saw coming. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Jerry Blevins. Hi, Jerry.
Hey Ben, how's it going?
Going well. How about you?
I can't complain. Just a freezing day here in Ohio.
So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
My pleasure.
So part of this is I'm just finishing a whole season on Field of Dreams, and I found an article that you wrote on Field of Dreams. So, I mean, just part of the conversation, wanted to talk about that at some point. But
For sure.
what's it like now? I know you've said in the past that, baseball, it just took up so much time in the practice, and now, you're retired from that, you're still doing a lot of things. But like, is it a weight lift it in a way?
Yeah, I'm in a way, absolutely, but there's something beautiful about having a decision, like knowing what you're focused on completely. So every day while I was playing, everything that I did, from what I ate, from the time I got up to the time I went to sleep, all my decisions were based off of, will it help me be a better baseball player today and tomorrow and into the future. So like there's a simplicity in it. It's obviously a complicated thing, but the simplicity of all of your everyday activities being based off of, you know, baseball for me made everything very streamlined. Towards the end of my career, I was married. The birth of both of my children while I was playing towards the end of my career, those things become more complicated where you can't be solely focused on baseball when there's a family involved. And then ultimately, when the sacrifice of that every day um, became too much, that's when I knew that it was probably time for me to hang them up.
Yeah. So did you, as a pitcher, did you study a lot? I'm curious for you, but also for everyone. Like, is that part of everyone's game, whatever position, to really study the other teams and study pitchers and hitters, or can some people just kind of rely on their abilities?
In today's game, there's a ton of studying, especially on from a pitcher standpoint, your own mechanics. And now with the high-speed cameras and the ability to see the spin and direction of the ball, you kind of know your baseline ideal on all these pitches. And so guys are like, okay, my spin axis was a little bit off. What was causing that? So they're able to break it down a lot more simple in today's game. And then there's obviously studying of the opponents. For me, being a lefty, I locked in on whatever part of their lineup. It was easy for me, from Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Freddie Freeman. I would study those guys extra hard and focus on their weaknesses, think about their tendencies in certain counts with runners in scoring position, without. And so there's a lot of studying that goes on in the beginning of my career, before the kind of technology renaissance that we had. I would watch film and I didn't really know what I was looking for, trying to figure out what I was doing, mostly, based off of just feel.
Hmm.
And with the help of some pitching coach, they'll be like, all right, see here, and your front side's coming open a little bit quick. That's slowing your arm down and it's lagging through. So my biggest thing was, like, most hitters they're good at high and away and down, or high and in and down and away, or vice versa. There's usually like a sweet spot for them like this. And so I would figure out what that was, where I needed to put a fastball if I were behind in the count, like the safest place, that kind of thing. And then move off of that. And then I would just learn tendencies, because in my career, I had to face guys a ton, and I would learn their approach and be able to see, what they're doing in between pitches and adjustment. And then I would make, counter moves, play a little bit of chess there. But in today's game, there's so much information available to you. I was able to ask for all the things I wanted specifically. With runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, does a guy swing at first pitch compared to, his average, all these kinds of things. And so the studying has become a lot more simple and direct, and that information is handed to you. So it's a lot less time for me in the video room and a lot more time just being able to see it, because there's so many more staff. There's so many guys in the front office now, and on the coaching staff, that can prepare these things for you, so you don't have to dive into it yourself.
Yeah, wow. So I mean, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, wow, it might be a good episode idea, like to go back through the history of, studying and what players used to do and the changes now. Because what you're saying is there's just so much more time you have to focus on the things that you find are important, and how much time was wasted in the past by watching video, or, even before that, I don't know what they would have done.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I came in such an interesting time in baseball where, I got called up in '07. And with the A's, it was like basically just video of yourself, and then you could watch other guys. So I would watch other pitchers face the team I was just facing and kind of see where they went. And then I would keep a book for myself on the things that I saw. And sometimes it would be a little bit deceiving, because your sample size is very small, basically what you have time to watch. Whereas all that data is collected now, and you can search for whatever you want in specifics and look at it. And do they chase the slider versus the curveball, a changeup down and in versus down and away? So you can really figure out anything that you want. It's so much easier to study. And on the other side, hitters have the same stuff on you. What do you like
Yeah.
to do in certain situations? So it's a lot more fun. It's a lot easier to find the information that you want and need, whereas before it was kind of a wild west, figuring it out on your own.
Yeah. I thought of the scene from Princess Bride. Do you know that, like, when the guy's going back and forth on the poison,
Oh,
right?
that's
You know what I know, but
yeah, but I know that yeah,
yeah,
that's a
yeah, that's the
classic.
pitcher hitter uh dilemma, right?
That, I had this job doesn't exist. And you mentioned in your email about things that, I was like, I like to be prepared. I was thinking about the rules the fact that there's a 3-batter minimum now eliminated the thing that I did towards the end of my career, which is a lefty specialist. And I loved doing that job. I hadn't done it before until I got to New York, and they were like, this is what we need from you. I found every battle that I had was meaningful. It was a make or break kind of moment in the game where there's runners in scoring position and one of their best, if not their best hitter was up, and I'm going to face him one time. It was a pass fail kind of thing. And so when you face a guy, like most relievers face guys like 5 times ever, and I faced multiple guys 20 times in my very limited approach. So I see these guys all the time. Watching them make adjustments to me mid pitch, seeing if they move in the box at all or what they're trying to do, trying to judge their swing on if they were late on a certain pitch. Those were my favorite times because it was like a mental battle. I said chess a lot, and it was because they know everything that I have, and I know everything that they have and what they're trying to do. And it was just fun. These little micro battles inside of a big game, inside of a big season. I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed that. And I think the game misses that a little bit, maybe not as a viewer or a fan. But for me, I think the game is missing those individual, mano a mano kind of battles that happen.
And because of the 3-batter minimum, you're saying it's missing that, or
Yeah, I
other
think
reasons?
that completely got rid of the specialists, and the game is for better or worse, whatever you think. I think with the pitch clock, I think the baseball is much better than where it was beforehand. I think that's a win, but I think the 3-batter minimum was something that could still be a part of this game. It won't slow it down. There's already a lot of things to speed it up, but it took away some of the manager's ability to make moves,
Yeah.
and it took away that particular profession, my profession of at the end of my career was you're a lefty specialist. You'll come in, you'll face a guy, maybe 2 or 3, depending, and this is your battle. And that doesn't exist anymore. And I miss it personally. But again, the game is in a much better place now than it was towards the end of my career.
Well, it seems like there's a possible shift to do the opposite, with hitters with this. And I don't know. I've just seen rumors about the being able to put in a hitter at any time, your best hitter, like that.
The what is
Credence
it,
to
the
that.
golden AB?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's a cool concept, and the example everybody uses is in the World Baseball Classic when you had Shohei Ohtani pitching against Mike Trout. Like it was epic baseball, but I don't think you can deploy that at the big league level with any success. It takes away some of the chance. And in a game where you have 162 games in a season, those are going to line up on occasion, and a lot of the times they don't. But baseball managers deploy their lineup in a certain way to take advantage of a certain time, and then the other manager deploys certain pitchers to face off against that. So you'll eliminate some of that just for the novelty's sake of seeing the best hitter and the best pitcher. I'm a purist in a simple form. Like again, I think the pitch clock is done wonders. I wish the players would have been able to take it amongst themselves because they were being told like we need you to move a little bit faster, and they
yeah.
just refused to. And so the commissioner decided to employ it anyway, and it's been a success. But I think the golden AB personally takes away from the fact that you have to set up your lineup in a certain way. This isn't, little league. I'm watching my 5 and 6 year old where everybody gets an at bat every inning and they don't worry
Yeah.
about outs. It's part of strategy, and I would hate to see them take that away for entertainment's sake.
I mean, how is it in reflection? Because you say it's so far-fetched, this crazy dream. You did it for what, 13 years? It's like, how is it when you go back and think about that?
It's it's surreal, to be honest. I'm a kid from small town Ohio. I walked on to the University of Dayton. Like me and my best friend to this day still was my roommate. we brought our gloves. We saw the posters on the wall in our dorm room, and had anticipated trying out for the baseball team. I made it, and I learned a lot about myself in the first 2 years. I didn't pitch much. I was really wild. I had raw stuff, but I couldn't harness it. I learned a lot from my pitching coach, Todd Linklater, who's a dear friend still to this day, about the mental side of pitching. And that's what separated me from myself. That's what elevated me. It was learning how to think critically and evaluate and positive mind thought. And I had a really successful junior year. I pitched really well against a guy that was being scouted, and it worked out for me. My the scout that signed me, Brian Williams, I was his first guy. Like, I was the first guy that he got drafted. He was, and then the odds of that making it, and then like there were so many things that went my way that I'll be forever appreciative of, knowing that, I'm not Garrett Cole or Jacob deGrom. Even he has kind of a wild story. Or, Paul Skeens. I never had elite status. I had to, fight, scratch, and claw my way up. I had a lot of things go my way. I've learned that I was very lucky, but I was also lucky as having an opportunity put in front of you. And I worked hard enough and was aware enough that when those opportunities of luck showed up, I was ready to take advantage of that. And a lot of that, a million things could have happened along the way that derailed my dream or my career, and none of it happened. So I'll be forever grateful. And it's almost, there's times where I don't believe that it happened, or, I feel truly blessed to have played the game as long as I did, and meet so many amazing people, and play in the cities that I got to play in. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I wanted to remind everyone that I'm continuing the listener baseball stories this season, and I'm looking for more. Unfortunately, I don't have the time right now to sit down and record everyone's story, so I'm asking you to record your story and send me the audio for me to include in a future episode. And you can email me at midnightlibraryofbaseball@gmail.com for details. Thanks. And as always, you can leave a review at iTunes and a donation at midnightlibraryofbaseball.com. Now back to the interview. So let's talk about baseball movies.
Deal.
So, what is your favorite baseball movie?
So,
And you're a movie guy
I am
in
a
general,
movie
right?
guy.
Yeah.
I love all things film, and I like TV shows, and like I like the art form. Baseball movie. I think my favorite, there's really no wrong answer, and it fluctuates, but I think my favorite one to talk about, because not enough people have seen it, it's called Everybody Wants Some.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
So it's a Linklater movie. And I think it's supposed to be not a sequel to, but in the same universe as Dazed and Confused.
Uh-huh. Huh.
So, and it takes place, and it encapsulates this moment in time perfectly. It's like 1980 Texas college baseball, and it takes place over like the 3 days between the team shows up and school starts. There's like this surreal window, this crazy snapshot of like your team there, you're there, there's no classes, but you're on campus and people are trickling in. It nails that moment in my life so well. It's so well written. The characters are really incredible. They did a good job of getting the baseball nuances of, funny, weird pitchers, and, big ego guys. They did an amazing job. And, Richard Linklater is an incredible filmmaker, and he nailed it on this one.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah.
Glenn Powell, who's a superstar right now, like the It Man. Is that? I think that's his name. He was in Top Gun Maverick and Anybody But You. He's like the new guy. That he's in it as a pitcher and he crushes it. He's like one of the main characters.
When
They,
was it
they
made?
I'm not sure. I'll look it up. It's not terribly old, but I think it's my favorite because I can introduce it to people that like baseball. Outside of that, the Sandlot. I mean, Sandlot is always a go-to. I've introduced that to my kids already.
Huh.
And then I think the one that I've seen the most is probably Major League.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I can think of all the times on like TBS and TNT on cable that it come on, and also there was times that my brother and I would just have it on a VHS and throw it in and watch it. Like I think those are my two, easiest go to. And Rookie of the Year played a big role, and I was like 10 when that came out.
That's with
And,
the kid with the like crazy arm.
yeah, his arm
Yeah,
gets broken.
yeah, yeah.
I just, I can very vividly see from that movie guys like pitcher's got a big
Yeah,
butt.
yeah,
Like I remember these things, and baseball has always been and would forever play a significant role in my life. I just love the game,
yeah.
but these moments in time I appreciate a lot.
So any change of thought on Field of Dreams over the over the
I
years?
do have a little bit of a
Yeah,
change of thought. The truth is, so you're referencing the article I wrote about
right.
why I hate Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
all started with Jimmy Traina of Sports Illustrated is, one of my favorite follows. I had him on Twitter and I had just seen Everybody Wants Some. And I said, this might be my new favorite baseball movie. And the responses weren't what I thought they were. And I was like just trying to talk about this movie, and people
Yeah,
were like, "No way, Field of Dreams the best," whatever the case may be. And I'm like,
yeah.
"Well, I mean, it's okay." And they're like, "List them," and then I can't remember exact lists, but it was like, you know, everybody wants some Sandlot, for love of the game. Um, just naming all of these other movies because in reality they are above it for me. What's the Tom Hanks and
Oh, Field League of
Gina
Their Own.
Davis?
League
Um,
of Their Own.
League of Their Own. Like that is an amazing baseball movie
Yeah,
to me too, and they're still above Field of
yeah,
Dreams for me. It never meant that I don't like
yeah,
Field of Dreams,
yeah.
but I didn't really enjoy it, and some of it came from the fact that I grew up single mom. I didn't have a dad to play catch. That might be deep seated
Mm,
daddy issues there that I didn't enjoy it. But overall, I appreciate the nostalgia of it. I love the fact that it's a baseball movie. It's tremendous performances. But my favorite parts of the movie they don't get right. You know how I talked about with Everybody Wants Some.
yeah,
I loved the fact that they got when you're in a particular field, I'm sure like a computer tech, if they made a movie about that, they would absolutely dissect like, oh, he wouldn't do that, or we wouldn't do it this way. You want to get your profession right. And I think about, the fact that Shoeless Joe in the movie, they have Ray Liotta batting right-handed and he's a left-handed batter. I mean, he doesn't even go out and like, it's not like they could have just been like, you know what? Pay attention to detail. Just play it on the other side and let him swing left-handed. It was
yeah,
that bothered me.
yeah,
I had never heard anybody use the phrase have a catch before
yeah,
until I went to New York, and apparently the Northeast says it a little bit, but you play catch.
yeah.
I've never heard it before. And I was like, why are they talk like that?
It just breaks that moment for you because it's building up, and then he says that, and it's like
He
it's
says
like
have a catch, and
yeah,
it literally ruined maybe the climax of the whole movie, the whole reason it existed. And I was just like, ew. It gave
yeah,
me, what kids would say the ick today.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm surprised that the the test panels didn't catch on that, but like because they caused them to add dad, right, to say hey dad instead of just hey you want to have a catch. I'm like that was a big deal for them.
Yeah,
So
to go away. Yeah, that was a big moment. So I don't know. And then my favorite part of the whole movie, is Moonlight Graham being able to fulfill his dream that he sacrificed and didn't work out for him
yeah.
to be able to do it. And then right when he gets to go, they pull him right back out and make him become a doctor and he has to leave the field. I'm like, oh my, that crushed me. So
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
those I still like the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
James Earl Jones is a legend. Kevin Costner is one of the greatest baseball actors. He loves the
Right.
game too.
Right.
Um, I just the parts of the movie that don't come, just knock it down a peg or two. But there's so many people that are passionate about it that Jimmy Traina was like, you need to write something for Sports Illustrated for
Right.
this. And so,
Yeah.
I
Stir things
dove
up.
in, and it gets brought up every once in a while, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was funny because I saw you on Instagram and then found that article and it came together. So
Ironically, I don't know how you feel, but I can you see the logo here? The little corn with baseballs.
yeah. Yeah.
So a couple former teammates and I have a bourbon company called Field of Dreams Whiskey, where
Really.
we take the corn from the Ray Farm from Dyersville,
What?
Iowa, and we make bourbon out of it. And so like it's ironic and full circle for me personally. But yeah, man, we're all in. We've got a player series. We have a small batch. I'm very
Wow.
proud of it. Very happy to be a part of it. And I do
Yeah.
appreciate the movie. I appreciate
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
means to so many people. But I thought it was a fun, opportunity to kind of be full circle on the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, and it's like that's part of what I'm doing with this podcast too. It's like you get the surface story, but there's so much more, and you just read this and but like there's so much more to the story and your background. Do they sell that on the field or in the like at the
It's in Iowa, but it's not at the movie site. There's some logistical issues that we're trying to work on.
yeah.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff when it comes to liquor sales and all that I'm
Mhm.
learning about firsthand.
Yeah.
But it's available in a lot of states. We ship. You can go to drinkfieldofdreams.com and check it out.
Okay. So good to set the record straight here.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I feel I like Field of Dreams, and I appreciate it again. It reminds me of, I'm from Ohio. When I signed in baseball, I got like sent to other parts of the country, and when people would be like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'd say Ohio. Everybody would be like, "I hate Ohio State." Like
Mhm.
dramatically. And I
Yeah.
didn't go there. I never felt, attachment. I always watched it. It's a huge thing. I always appreciated Ohio State for their football tradition and everything. We'd watch the games. But after so much hate, like 80% of the people, that would be like the first thing that they would say. And after a while, you're like, you know what? I love Ohio State. You
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
to you start to take that counter stance when
You get
people
defiant.
are coming at you. And so I think that was like similar feel to the Field of Dreams movie where I like it. It's not my favorite,
Yeah.
but that's where the article came from, where it's like, oh yeah, well, you're gonna attack me for what I like.
Yeah.
I'll write something about what you love, and I'll say I hate. So
Yeah.
it was a fun
Yeah.
moment. And I enjoy writing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and ultimately it's like it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, and it's not a big deal, but it's
the truth is
it's fun to talk about.
subjective. So
Yeah.
you can like whatever you want. The truth is I may disagree, but the
Yeah.
fact that you have a favorite or certain favorites, I love talking about it. So
Yeah. And there's so much about this. Like Charlie Sheen wrote a 3-page letter to try to get into the get cast in the film. And I mean, there are all these incredible stories. But yeah, the technical issues, a lot of people called that out.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
bothers me.
Yeah.
That's like who was it? I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast, The Rewatchables, and they were talking about white men can't jump.
Mhm.
And at the time, I was pretty young. I didn't realize it that Wesley Snipes cannot do anything with a basketball. And I was, and so they cut all the time to him, like, he didn't have skills that they could put on screen where and so now when I watch the movie, I see the little subtleties where he doesn't quite look right dribbling the basketball or whatever. And so
Yeah, it's like there are all these options available. You think you could find somebody who can really play the part, and the casting director said he had presence, and that's what I was looking for, right? And that's what was most important,
exactly.
that
Yeah,
emotional connection.
one of my former teammates, this is what they could have done too, is Jasha Balcom, who I played with, did the swing in 42, like, for Chadwick Boseman. Like he put on the uniform, and anything from behind, it
Yeah,
looked good enough. And the baseball came across where it looked seamless in the movie, at least for me.
yeah,
And they had a guy doing something that Jackie Robinson was known for, what he, on top of everything else, the Hall of Fame person and career. But it would have pulled you right out of the moment if Jackie Robinson went up there and it just looked awkward, or he was batting on the other side of,
yeah,
the plate.
yeah, yeah. Fun. So when did you start that Field of Dreams?
So when I played for the Nationals in 2014, Drew Storen and Tyler Clippard were bullpen guys. We're like very tight. We spent a lot of time together on and off the field. I became really close with those guys. And toward the end of my career, Drew Storen had some injuries and retired earlier than Tyler and I. And he was always the bourbon guy. He was, anytime we would have a moment to go out, we would be like, all right, Drew, what are we trying tonight? And he would pick the bottle and tell us about it. And he fell deep into the bourbon lore, collectible bottles, all that stuff. He's got an amazing collection. And he'd always talked about it like, wow, what am I going to do? I want to start a bourbon company. And towards the end of his career, and then when he was done, he said, I have this crazy idea of making bourbon with the corn from Field of Dreams, because it means a lot to him as well. And so he started it, went and talked to the Ray family and became really close friends with the Rays, and said, we would do it justice. We're baseball people. You're a farmer, salt of the earth. Like, we don't ever want to do wrong by you. So we would love to buy your corn from you and turn this into something, meaningful. And so Drew really started it, brought Tyler and I in, and a couple of other guys on the business side of things. And we've been making it ever since. Like, we have two openings, and it's all baseball tie-in. So our player series we release every year has hand numbered on the back, and it's for every player that's ever made his major league debut. So my number is 19,230.
Yeah.
Every year we get that of 23,000. I'm not sure the number this year, but we'll release that amount of bottles. So everybody has a bottle relating to somebody somewhere around there. And then we just launched our small batch this year, which is we wanted to, first of all, it's great. Like, the bourbon's good. We're proud of it. It's young because we haven't had that long to age it, so we've got the best we've got. And I think it's really good. Something that I would drink, that I do drink actually. But the small batch is a little bit sweeter. But what we wanted to do is we're trying to figure out stories within baseball. So we decided to make these toppers. So the thing that closes the lid, right? And we put, through our connections, we're members of the alumni association with baseball, baseball players alumni association. So we started to license some baseball players. So we have, on top, we have etched in, laser etched in, is like, we call it major leagues or Hall of Fame stories and Hall of Fame careers. So we have guys like Stan Musial, Jim Thome. So, and then personalities like Jay Buhner, or, gimmicky things like Eddie Goodell, who was the little person that made his debut. So we
Yeah.
have like that on our toppers, and then we wrapped it in foil. So we wanted to simulate what it's like to open a pack of cards. So you
Oh,
buy it,
that's
you
cool.
take it home, you
Yeah.
don't know who you got. So we're always trying to honor the game of baseball while making a good bourbon that we're proud of. So we're very happy with where we are now, and we have a lot of fun things in the future planned. But those are our two babies.
That's a cool idea. It's like when an idea comes on, it's like, oh, that's really interesting. And there's also this tie in, this connection.
Yeah. So, and
I
and
have
it
that
takes,
because I collected baseball cards. So
yeah, exactly. And that there's nothing like opening a pack of cards and trying to,
yeah,
but it really took Drew Storen was, the forerunner. I mean, this guy, when you're done, we talked about how singularly focused a baseball player is, especially a guy like me that doesn't have the extreme talent to where I have to really focus in. I'm singularly focused. When your playing career is done, now you have like endless options of what you're trying to do. Almost overwhelmingly, where do you go from there? And a lot of guys try a lot of different things, supplement companies, whatever the case may be. It takes that same kind of effort that you put into your career to really make something entrepreneurial work. And Drew started it and did that. For me, I love it. I'm a part of it, but I don't have the knowledge or the time that he does because, I'm a husband, dad. I stay in Ohio because I have a nephew and niece that now I get to go to their football games, to their volleyball games, something that I couldn't do as a player. I missed out on a lot. It's one of the sacrifices you make is we're gone for 9 months, like gone.
yeah,
I missed my best friend's wedding, all these things. Now that I'm done playing, I one of the things that I put down in, my needs and my second life after baseball is I need to be there for my family and friends who supported me and loved me along the way. So I live here. So I don't have that same time. And plus, I do pre and post game stuff for the Mets. I have a Mets podcast. I enjoy that a lot more than I ever thought I would. I love being able to use my point of view as a former pitcher to bring out the little nuances or little keys of a game and break it down for the fans to maybe get a little bit of insight. I didn't anticipate enjoying it on that level. Plus the live TV aspect of an adrenaline spike, like it's really fun. So I get a chance to do all of it, but it's really family, baseball and bourbon now are like the three things in my life.
yeah. Well, I'm really happy for you. You had this amazing career, and then, as you said, you went into this other career, and it just turned out more fulfilling than you could have imagined. That's fantastic.
Appreciate it, Ben. Thank you.
Anything that I didn't ask that was on your mind,
No, I think I do want to know one thing. You can tell
Yeah.
I'm long-winded, which is probably why media was in my future. I talk quite a bit, but what's your favorite baseball movie or a favorite couple?
Now my favorite movie is Field of Dreams just because there's so much wrapped up in it, and it's like it's the iceberg, and now I see underneath the water into everything else that has happened. Um, and Lawrence Kesnick, he's the editor who convinced W.P. Kinsella to turn a short story into a novel, right? That led to the
Yeah,
movie. And he just edited my novel, which is about a female knuckleball pitcher. So, like, I mean, it's just amazing everything coming together. It's kind
that
of
is
like
wild.
full circle.
What's your book called?
My book is called The Knuckleballer, so it's still in the process of with publishers right now.
That's
So,
amazing. I would
yeah,
love. I can't wait to read it when it comes out. Congratulations. That's
thank you.
quite an endeavor.
Yeah, it is. So Field of Dreams, yeah, wasn't a big fan of The Natural. Uh,
Me either.
yeah.
People are pretty passionate about that. So don't say that on social media.
Um, yeah, Sandlot. I want to check out this movie that you mentioned.
Let
Everybody
me know
wants
what you
some.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then what else? Yeah, definitely Major League. Um,
Are you a
and-
summer catch kind of guy? A little Freddie Prince Jr. in there?
no,
That
no. I
one
think
gets made fun of a lot, but I like it too.
I'm more like I got back into it about 6 years ago, and I started reading all these baseball novels and short stories. So
Cool.
I think
Shoot
I'm
me
more.
some, DM me. You have my Instagram. I'd love to get a couple of suggestions because I love to read as well. So
Oh, yeah, definitely. I got some. Yeah, every
cool.
summer I round them up and start reading.
Knock them
So
out.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Well, Jerry, thanks so much for talking with me, and yeah, all the best. and
Thank
I
you,
will
man.
send you those suggestions.
I appreciate it. And a friend of mine here in town, sent me some of your clips on Instagram from what is it, Midnight Library?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before I talked to you, I was like, "Oh, who is this?" And then like 2 days later, you messaged me, and I was like, "That's ironic."
Aha.
So that was,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Good to
happy to
know.
be on. You've got fans all over. So,
All right. Okay, Jerry. Have a good day.
all right. See you, Ben.
Bye. You can find Jerry Blevins providing more baseball insights on his podcast Shea Station, and also on the SNY network, where he offers analysis of the New York Mets. I'm guessing with all the recent trades, it's going to be fun to hear what he has to say. And those of you familiar with my recent review giveaway contest know that some of the prizes were donated by Blevins and his company, Field of Dreams Whiskey. And I just want to say that when he told me he had this company, I couldn't believe it. Of all the people I end up talking to, it's Jerry Blevins with Field of Dreams Whiskey. So, I don't know. It's quite a coincidence. But it's a really cool bottle with lots of great ideas in the company. Their website is drinkfieldofdreams.com, and they're also on Instagram. Next week, episode 4, Fallen Through the Cracks. And I can honestly say I never thought I'd be talking about Richard Nixon at all. But he's already come up in episode 2, and he's going to play a pivotal role in episode 4. So who knows what's going to happen next? Good night.